Learning is important, right?
Yes, exactly. What a bunch of nerds.
Nerd alert.
Right.
Marketing Architects.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Architects, a research-first podcast dedicated to answering your toughest marketing questions. I'm Melinda Jasper. I run the marketing team here at Marketing Architects, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob DeMars, the Chief Product Architect of Misfits and Machines.
Howdy, howdy.
We are back with your weekly Nerd Alert. Every week, I'll take a deep dive into academic marketing research and translate its complex ideas into simple, understandable language for Rob and, of course, for all of you. Are you ready to nerd out, Rob?
Sounds nerderific.
All right, let's get into it. As always, I'll link the research we cover in the episode notes. This week, I read An Empirical Exploration of Sports Sponsorship, Activation of Experimental Marketing, Sponsorship Satisfaction, Brand Equity, and Purchase Intention. This is by Chunhua Chao from Kainan University, Kaiyu Tang from Mingchang University, and Yusheng Su from the National Taiwan Ocean University, which sounds lovely, by the way. I thought this would be a fun study to cover with the Olympics happening right when this episode is being released, but I've also always been interested in both like small and large scale sports sponsorships and how worth it they must be, because there's a big audience watching sports, but sometimes I wonder like how effective are all those little sponsorships you see? Like someone's running the marathon and there's like little like brand names on like the side of the course. Like they probably paid a lot for that. And I wonder how much it's working. Do you have to sponsor a stadium to feel a real impact, or could sponsoring like a local running event, could that work just as well? We are going to discuss that today. But first, Rob, what was the last local sports competition that you participated in, or I'll be generous that you went to? I'm not sure how many you participated in.
Well, I'd say both of those are not frequent events in my life, but I did go see my nephew who played center for Augsburg College. So shout out to Brandon Showtime Showstrand.
So do you remember any of the sponsors from the game?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, it was funny because I was really thinking about that, and in my brain, I feel like I saw Nike logos on the shirts. And I don't know if I just made that up because they've done such a good job with putting stuff on their shirt. I'm like, I maybe just made that up.
All right. But so you said he plays for Augsburg. It's a pretty big sporting event, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this study that we're going to talk about today, it proves that there is value, despite what Rob might remember, in sponsoring sporting events, but even and maybe especially smaller local events. So it has to also be a very specific kind of sponsorship to work really well. This study focused on a road running event in Taiwan called the Ximen Reservoir International Road Run Challenge. This event was sponsored by Go Hiking, which is an outdoor products company. And these researchers were curious about how participating in an event like this affects the runner's perception of the brand. So they looked at 3 areas: experiential marketing, sponsorship satisfaction, and brand equity. And they looked at how those different elements influence the participants' purchase intent of Go Hiking products. They surveyed 238 runners right after they completed the race, which I would find very annoying if I was a runner finishing a race. But their questions covered their experiences with the event, their satisfaction, and then their feelings about the Go Hiking brand. So let's start with experiential marketing. This study found that when Go Hiking activated experiential marketing during the event, aka they gave away their products for competitors to try, it significantly boosted the participant satisfaction and perception. Now for sponsorship satisfaction, this refers to how happy the participants were with the event itself. Interestingly, while satisfaction with the event did enhance brand equity, it didn't directly translate into a higher intent to purchase Go Hiking products. So that suggests that if you just have a good time at an event, that's not typically enough to drive sales. The study confirmed that strong brand equity is a key driver of purchase intention. When participants had a favorable view of Go Hiking's brand, they were more likely to buy its products. So this shows the importance of not just sponsoring the event, but also ensuring that your brand experience is front and center. Another interesting finding from the study is the role that brand equity plays as a bridge between experiential marketing and purchase intent. For the experiential marketing efforts to effectively lead to sales, they had to first raise brand equity. So if your participants leave your event with a strong, positive impression of your brand, they're much more likely to purchase in the future. So the good news is that for marketers, even small events can build your brand. But if you choose to sponsor a local event, make sure your brand is involved. So that means don't just add a logo to the back of a t-shirt. That won't likely have a huge impact. So Rob, do you have any memories of experiential marketing at a local event you went to that you really liked?
Just 2 weeks ago here in Wayzata, Minnesota, they had the James J. Hill Days, which is just a kind of a beautiful event right down by the lake. And a lot of different businesses are showing off their wares in kind of cool and friendly ways. And I was actually walking to my Jeep. I'm a big Jeep Wrangler guy, love the vehicle. And there was a rubber ducky that was sitting on my Jeep. Now, if you own a Wrangler, people love getting ducked. It's a thing. You duck other Jeep owners, right? You go up there, you're like, oh, I got a rubber ducky. You put them on your dashboard. Well, this particular duck contained a logo. And it was the logo for a company that will store your Jeep hardtop and rent you a soft top. And I'm like, this is brilliant. And it was brilliant for 3 different reasons. One, it showed it truly understood its customer, right? Beautiful day, a lake, there's a fun event going on. Jeep owners love fun things. Oh my gosh, I got ducked. It was great. They know their owner. Number 2, I'm definitely going to talk about this to other Jeep owners, which I did. I even had a friend that I spoke to, and they're like, I've actually used that service before. And then lastly, I'm not going to throw that duck away. I'm going to keep that thing on my dashboard with all my other little ducks. So I thought that was just a smart move.
That's such a great idea from that company. Great example of like really knowing your customer. And I was thinking about this, like I do a lot of like local races, like local triathlons and stuff. And I went to one recently, and a pizza place called Joey Nova's Pizza sponsored it. And they had breakfast pizza at the end of the triathlon. I'm like, oh, what a great example of, they were a sponsor. So they had their logo on the shirt, but they also provided something where you're going there, you're experiencing it. So I'm sure that does well for them every single year. They sponsor it again and again. And it must be because they're actually creating like some kind of an experience for you while you're at the event.
It's a great idea. Breakfast pizza after I bet you that's just awesome.
Nothing better, honestly, than that. But this made me think that I used to think, all right, if I was running a giant brand, it'd be better to be like a sponsor a big event than a small event. However, you'd probably be better off sponsoring a small local event if you could be the title sponsor and create some type of an experience for people. Like if you're a running brand, like they did, sponsor a running event and give out things for people to use during the event, then you would be being just one of those many sponsors in the sea of other sponsors and just having your brand there. I'm sure there's some awareness. I'm sure that exists, but if you really want to have an impact, how can you combine your sponsorship with some type of experience people are going to have? It even made me think about us and like when we go to events, how could you, I don't know, could we play more TV commercials or like do something so that people feel some experience with your brand as well as being a sponsor?
As much as I love Apple and I love my Apple Watch, I still think it'd be really hilarious to get this idea before at a marathon to have an Apple Watch charging station halfway through the marathon that's sponsored by Garmin.
That's hilarious. That's a really great idea. Oh man, Rob, you have these great ideas. Just got to start charging for this.
I should do something with it.
Yeah. Okay. The Rob GPT for this one is, imagine you run a bakery and you host a community bake-off where everyone gets to use your premium ingredients. By the end, everyone's raving not just about the event, but also about how amazing your ingredients are, making them eager to buy them for their own baking.
Pretty simple. I like it. Keep it simple.
That's it for this episode of The Marketing Architects. We'd like to thank Ayana Klaphocky for producing the show and Taylor De Los Reyes for editing. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, and if you find the show valuable, please leave us a rating and review. And if you'd like to hear more from us, subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. It's built for marketers seeking research-first analysis of the latest trends. You can go to marketingarchitects.com/newsletter to subscribe. Now go forth and build great marketing. At a triathlon, there are these boots that people wear and they move your circulation. And everybody was using these, like triathlete after triathlete. You just swam, biked, and run, and then you're all sharing these boots. I'm like, that's straight up nasty.
Get an antifungal sponsor to sponsor the sponsor.
Marketing Architects.